What's more important than talent and skill? Stay tuned. Damon here with NLP Jim. Resilience, becoming unstoppable. If you haven't already, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. You have the ability to bounce back, to reinvent yourself, to come back from the worst setbacks ever. It's in you. You have it inside of you. We all do. Does it feel like you have less of it now than what you did before? Does it feel like other people have more of it than you do? Or maybe some people were just born with more resilience than you? What stops you from being more resilient is when you buy into the noise all around you or the noise in your head. That noise can be, that's coming from around you, is family, friends, who they're well-meaning. They want to protect you. They don't want you to get hurt. They don't want you to get back out there. They don't want you to get back in the ring with that opponent. And the noise in your head is that feeling or that sense or your mind that's telling you that this doesn't make sense. You can't win. There's no point in doing it. But there's something bigger inside of you that is saying something else. And we've all had that experience of getting knocked down so many times, and it doesn't make any sense to get back up and to do it again. Your mind is telling you not to. Your friends, your family are telling you to give up, stay down, and you do it anyway. What is that about? That is inside of you right now, even if you can't feel it. And if you want to feel it, think about a time when you've had that experience. All of you have had that experience. If you're watching this video, if you're breathing and you have a pulse, you have had that experience of, for no logical reason, getting back up and going back at something again when you felt that defeat. Maybe you still didn't even succeed. Maybe it didn't turn out still how you wanted to, but the success for you, the greatness of that experience was getting back up and going forward. Think about a time when that has happened and drop into that time and see what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt like you were actually there. Breathe the air that you were breathing at that moment and feel that fear, feel that sense of feeling defeated, and then feel that other thing, that other part of you that will not take no, will not accept defeat, that part of you that puts your legs back under you and says, get the fuck back out there again. You're not going to stay on the ground. You're going to get back out there and you're going to do this. That is resilience. And if you're doing that right now, you're feeling it. And it's not my words that are making you feel that. You couldn't possibly feel that from my words if it didn't already exist inside of you. Your biggest opponent, who is that biggest opponent? Is it the life you were handed? Was it the environment around you? Is it the economy? Is it the birth order that you find yourself in? Was it your color, your gender, any of those things? It's not. Whenever I was starting my insurance agency in 2008, at the height of the financial crisis. Before that, the reason why I decided to do it, and I decided to open my insurance agency before the economy went crazy. I saw what my dad had done. He had started his own agency in 1982 in rural Louisiana. And here I was opening my insurance agency in Northern California. And one thing he told me that I'll never forget, because these two incidents are completely different. Rural Louisiana 1982, Northern California 2008. They were worlds apart, these experiences. But there was one thing that really unified those experiences for both of us, and it was something my father said. He said, do you know who your biggest competition is? And I was thinking in a very literal sense, and I just rattled off several of the insurance companies that I had researched in the area and with the demographics, and I had done all this for my business plan, so I just, recited a bunch of these. And he said, no, your biggest competitor is you. He said, if anything is going to get in the way of your success, that's going to be you. Don't blame anyone else. Don't blame the circumstances. The only one you can hold accountable for that is you. That goes not just for business, that's personal as well. One of the most inspirational movies that I can think of is the first two Rocky movies. And I used to watch these movies over and over when I was a kid. In the first Rocky movie, Rocky's given an opportunity to fight the heavyweight champion of the world, Apollo Creed, when Rocky was not even a contender. He was basically a punching bag for other boxers. Towards the end of the movie, he realizes that no, he's done all the training, he's trained extremely hard, and he realizes he can't win. He's just not skilled enough, he doesn't have it in him. And then something changes inside of him. He decides, because no one has gone the distance with Apollo Creed, that that's all he wants to do. To him, he will succeed if he goes the distance with Apollo Creed. He gets knocked down over and over. He gets bloodied up. Even his own trainer is telling him not to get back up. And he gets back up anyway. And he loses by a hair. He loses by a split decision that's controversial. And that changes his entire life. I know it's a movie. I know it's fictional. But the reason why that movie won an Academy Award, and it was the lowest budget movie, the reason why it won an Academy Award, because that is a universal experience. When you get back up for no reason, when you know you're going to fail, and you go and you do it anyway, something changes in you, and that changes your reality, and things just change. And usually it's for the better. There's another story that I love. Whenever I was in Los Angeles, and Bruce Lee is a huge inspirational figure to me, he's one of my idols. When I went to Los Angeles, I found out that one of Bruce Lee's childhood friends, who trained in Wing Chun Kung Fu alongside Bruce Lee by the same master, lived in Los Angeles and had a, I don't think they called it a dojo, but he trained people in Wing Chun Kung Fu. Well, I was right on the doorstep and said, sign me up. And so I trained for a little while with Hawkins Chung, is his name. I believe he's still teaching right now in Los Angeles. And he had all these articles posted all over the walls just from over the years, accumulating them. And I found a Black Belt magazine article that was an interview with him, and it was shortly after Bruce Lee had died, and they were interviewing him about Bruce Lee. One of the things they used to do in Hong Kong is they used to seek out other students from other schools to fight, and they would challenge them. And the whole idea was it was their style against theirs. It was their instructor against their instructor. Who was better? And so they would get into these street fights. It was extremely illegal, but this is where these guys got really good and where they were able to test their craft, test their abilities, and test the style. Hawkins recounted a story where Bruce Lee had taken on a much bigger opponent. And usually Bruce Lee could clean up. He was very skilled even from the beginning. He was a natural talent, and usually he would win quite easily. But his opponent was bigger than him, stronger than him, and was faster than him, which is hard to believe. And I think he said Bruce Lee was about 15 years old at the time. And Bruce just kept getting knocked to the ground over and over. And it wasn't long before he had blood coming down his face and tears coming down his face. And he had gotten knocked down and he quit. He couldn't do it anymore. He just knew that there was no way he was going to beat this guy, and he let it go. And then suddenly something came over him. And Hawkins said there was something that came over, like he could see it in his eyes, it just came out of him. He got back up, and he went back into the fight, and everybody thought he was just going to get himself killed. And he won. He beat the bigger opponent. He beat the bigger, stronger, faster opponent. And Hawkins said that was a turning point in Lee's life. That look in his eye stayed, and he was forever transformed by that. And Hawkins said in the interview that he believed that was a huge turning point that led to Bruce's success. No doubt Bruce Lee had lots of talent and lots of skill, but without that resilience to keep coming back and to know that as long as you keep coming back, as long as you keep going after it, even when it doesn't make sense, that was a huge part of his success. So these stories really inspire me. And when I think about the state of NLP, the field of NLP, and especially in the US today, and how the trainings are really contributing to the state of NLP right now, and that is that they're not as comprehensive, they're not as long, we're not turning out good practitioners. Right now, the field of NLP in this country is starved of great, long, and comprehensive practitioner trainings and master practitioner trainings. What I keep hearing is No one will sign up for a long training. No one wants to learn NLP anymore. It's all gone. It's a done deal. It's not even a good business model anymore. And I keep hearing this over and over again. This is the noise all around me. And that gets into me, and it gets into my head, and I hear that noise in my head too. So I can sit around and I can complain about this, or I could do something about it. I'm going to do the longest, most comprehensive NLP practitioner training in the US starting in January. And as I wrote to one of my supporters who was trying to talk me out of doing this, I said, if I fail, it will be a glorious failure. I would rather fail doing what I feel is the right thing to do than to sit around and just complain about it. Join us for NLP Jim's first ever practitioner training, January 2017. It will be the longest, most comprehensive practitioner training that I can possibly put together. Why am I doing this? Because I want to turn out excellent practitioners. I want to do what the other institutes are not doing. I want to do what the other institutes are afraid to do. I want to do what the other institutes think will fail as a business model, because I believe with the right passion and resilience behind it, we can make it happen. Check out our website, nlp-jim.com. Follow us on Facebook, and as I mentioned before, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you like this video, please click like and please leave me a comment. I love to read your comments, and I love answering your questions. Take care.